Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about whether you're overwhelmed by how to give back. So let's jump right into it. So I believe that when people have too many options, this can often lead to inaction. The inability to make a clear decision, more importantly, the right decision. So figuring out your own rhythm as to what you want to give to, how much and when, will help you ensure that you don't get paralysis by analysis. You don't get overwhelmed to where you don't take action. Now, when giving back, you need to identify who or what is the best means of giving back. Is it something that pulls at your heartstrings, like an orphanage, maybe an animal shelter, or a preservation society of some kind? Is it a mission-based organization that sends missionaries to other parts of the world, or otherwise? Think through this, because this is the part that can be so easy to overlook, or even more difficult, because there are always so many needs to give to, and it can be overwhelming in that way. So start with looking at your budget or your plan to spend. What would you like to consistently give? Is it 5%, 10%, 15%, or more to something you want to have a greater impact on? So determining first how much you're going to carve out of your spending in order to do so will help you to then figure out where to focus your contribution. So before jumping into action though, I would recommend that you research the top 3 organizations that pique your interest the most, the ones that you want to support. Now take a look at their vision, their mission, and their goals, if they're listed, of that organization, to find out if those actually align with something that you want to support. They may opt in for or give to organizations you don't agree with or causes you don't agree with. So it's really important for you to know whether that organization fully aligns with you, or at least aligns with you for the most part, or not, before you begin the process of giving to that organization. So I would go through this process of not just being pessimistic or scrutinizing them, but thinking about what kind of questions to ask, like how much of every dollar donated actually goes to administration and overhead versus going to the cause itself. Finding out whether that organization's a 501c3 or some type of nonprofit designation, and if they have any certifications to back that up. But also looking at their financials. Are they solvent as an organization, meaning that the funds you have entrusted to their care and donated to them are being managed well? But doing your research will give you some peace of mind to be able to make a real impact once you determine solid causes that you can lean into. Now, once you've looked at those 3 organizations you want to support, maybe you've whittled that down to 2 or 1 accordingly, and you've determined which makes sense for you, then I would encourage you to go about other ways of how you want to give back. Again, this could be your time, talent, or resources. So you may give predominantly to a church, a cause, or a family. Then also look at what talents you have and how you could give of those talents and your time to a cause that may need you to be physically present in delivering Christmas gifts to children through Operation Christmas Child, or building a home for a family in need through Habitat for Humanity or something like that, so that you're not just giving your money to an organization, but that you are actually seeing how that donation is actually played out. You can be those hands and feet in that community or with that cause to make a difference. And I really think that gives feet to your donation, to your generosity, because you're able to really see what the impact that you can have really is. And so it's not just blindly giving money to some organization because you feel obligated, but it's because you're able to see first and foremost how that donation of your time, talent, or resources is really making a difference. And I think that would just inspire you more to spend less on your lifestyle and spend more in making a difference in that area. So now that you've determined the amount of money you want to give to what vetted organization, as well as how you may also contribute your time, talent, and resources accordingly, what is actually next? Now, focusing on this organization in particular is especially important. And I say this because growing up, I always remembered my grandma having a stack of mail from various organizations doing fundraisers, asking for money. Now, she would carefully go through each request and give to all those that she thought were noble or worthy causes. Now, there were so many of these she would give to that the amounts toward each were relatively small. Now, I have to be careful here as to communicate that having a heart to give and taking action are the most important parts of giving, not necessarily the amount, whether big or small. Some may be able to give in larger quantities and have it be less impactful for their household budget, while others may be able to give smaller amounts or smaller quantities, but it's a bigger sacrifice because it's a bigger amount of their budget. Now, the important part in this is that you figure out the best way to give in the most impactful ways. So it may not be as impactful to spread out your giving to a lot of different organizations, but you may consider narrowing your focus and giving more to one or two organizations instead of a handful. Now, giving does not necessarily have to always be in large sums. Now, you may have recalled hearing about a story of a Starbucks customer paying for the customer behind them, which translated to well over 100 customers paying it forward. Now, a $5 latte may be a nominal gift in your world, but think about the impact that had on a single person's day, which then prompted them to take action in impacting another person's day accordingly. So that's what giving does, when people see that and they're impacted by it, it inspires others to do the same. Now, once you've gone through this process, I would recommend that you allow some leeway in your budget for unplanned giving like this. This is a way for you to have some funds to give to an immediate need you see. This is for the type of donations that would be for a GoFundMe or specific one-time project or outreach your church is doing. So the main focus here is that you plan, you do your research, you focus your efforts, and then you act. You act on the information, the conviction, discernment, and wisdom that you have so that you are making the greatest impact you can. Now, my call to action today is to look at your budget or your plan to spend. See how much you have to give or would like to give or earmark to give, and then research the top 3 organizations, causes, so on and so forth that you would like to give to, and initially choose one to be consistently giving to. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.